Well, hello and welcome to the Brian Hornback Podcast, episode number 20. We had a little foul up there between 18 and 19, but now we're back in order with episode 20. A lot of things been going on. Not sure that we talked about all of the beer license stuff, but we'll talk about that a little bit with Knoxville and the Board of Health curfew and the losing of the vaccines, all kinds of great stuff. Here in good old Knoxville, Tennessee. But if you're listening to the Brian Hornback Podcast for the first time, this is just another avenue for the BrianHornback.com blog, the website. Hello, bud. And so appreciate you chilling with us for about, 15 or 20 minutes. And let me talk about what's been going on in the world today. Or this week. But anyway, I do want to encourage you to listen to us on all the pod streaming places, iHeartRadio podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Breaker, and of course where we produce this, where we host this, where it's manufactured and where it is held for all eternity is at Anchor FM. I'm sure if you're listening to this, you likely heard a Anchor FM ad just before this podcast started, and so we appreciate that. Let me get a little screenshot here. Thank you. There we go. And so here we go. Wow, a lot of stuff been going on in Knoxville, Knox County. So last Wednesday, it was Dr. Martha Buchanan came out with them. We got those of us in the media got a notification about 2:30 in the afternoon that there would be a press conference at 3. Normally when you get about a 30-minute heads up that there's going to be a press conference, it's normally something pretty big, right? And so, obviously, I tuned in, and that information was that somehow, some way, they have misplaced the word that Dr. Buchanan used was disposed of 975 Pfizer vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines, 975 of them. Well, if you do a Google search, which if you read BrianHornback.com, you saw that I wrote about it. Pfizer is the most expensive at $19.50 a shot. The Moderna is about $10 a shot, and then of course the Johnson & Johnson is about $4 a shot. So in essence, they just threw away $19,000, a little over $19,000 worth of medicine. A lot of things that they said on Tuesday really didn't kind of add up. You had they said that the tracking that Pfizer puts on the package wasn't tracking. They didn't have they didn't get the other package of dry ice. I think from what we can kind of tell from the press conference on Wednesday, it sounded as if they were trying to say that the vaccine comes in, and then there's a case of dry ice, and then and because there's only one box, I guess they just tossed it. Me and Compass Knox, another online publication here in Knoxville, really kind of emphasized on the whole dispose of. What's that really mean? Does it mean it went out at Chestnut Ridge landfill out in Anderson County, or did it go to was it medically disposed of? What's the deal? Basically, from what we can tell, it just went in the dumpster. And then Glenn Jacobs was on WBR's Inside Tennessee this morning. This is being recorded on Sunday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2021. And he's saying that the investigation is still ongoing. So, my real question is, who's investigating it? Is it the Knoxville Police Department? Is it the Knox County Sheriff's Department? Is it the TBI, which the director of the TBI is the former police chief David Roush now? And so I'm not sure who's doing the investigation that Glenn Jacobs talked about, but apparently there is an investigation going on, and they're not. It's just interesting to me that the mayor could come out on Wednesday with a rounding show of support for the health department when $19,000 just got thrown away. Anybody else that lost the equivalent of a car, the equivalent of a teaching assistant's salary for a year in Knox County schools, the equivalent of a classroom of laptop computers, one-on-one devices, I'm pretty sure they would have been terminated. When I asked the question at the media briefing on Wednesday, there was no intent to even do any disciplinary action toward the employee or employees that just decided to throw away a package without opening it first. Just to me is unconscionable, but so be it. It's for the mayor to the mayor and the health department director to deal with. My job is an op-ed guy. I just write about it, talk about it, give my opinion about it. But other thing that was interesting today on Inside Tennessee on Channel 10 was that the mayor was asked about whether he was running for re-election in 2022, and he said he had not made that decision yet. So the real question is, if he's not, then who's going to be running? Obviously, there's a member of the legislature that has political aspirations of Goliath. And of course, it only took David with one little stone to knock out Goliath. But State Representative Jason Zachary has the political appetite or political desire to be president. It almost seems like. And of course, he's wanting to. He's got legislation back again this year that he had presented back in the summer to strip the Board of Health of making those decisions. And he was quoted on Channel 6 today as saying that the legislation that he's presenting this year will bypass his own state senator, Richard Briggs. Briggs a state senator represents about the equivalent of 3 state house districts. And he represents all of Jason Zachary's district. And he's the one that killed Jason Zachary's bill last summer. And Jason Zachary said on Channel 6 that his legislation this year bypasses Briggs's committee. So Briggs will have to get a majority of his folks in the state Senate to vote it down, if it even comes out of State House. I'm not sure that it comes out of the State House. It does have a better chance of coming out of the State House this year versus back in the summer, because it's got the Speaker Cameron Sexton, who I have a ton of respect for. It does have him on that legislation, so it may have a better shot of coming out of the House this year than it did last year, simply because of Speaker Sexton's support. But we'll see how that shakes out. So what else is going on in Knoxville? Well, in 2021, 5 of the city council members are up for re-election. So try to run those down for you. That would be in the 1st District, Tommy Smith. He's been serving for a little less than a year, maybe a little more than a year. I guess it's less than a year. He probably got appointed in March or April of last year because Stephanie Welch stepped down to go and be something big with India Kincannon's mayoral administration. So she stepped down from the city council. And so Tommy Smith was appointed by city council to serve in the 1st District. He's up. And then in the also we have in the 3rd District, we have Seema Singh Perez. She's up for re-election. In the 4th District, we have Lauren Ryder. She's up for re-election. And then we have, let me think. Hold on, Charlie Thomas. No, he got appointed. He got elected last year. Anyway, there's at least two more. Gwen McKenzie in District 6 is up, and I don't remember who the other one was. I'm missing one somewhere along the way. But anyway, that's what happens when you do this by memory. But anyway, there's a lot of folks that are out there that are starting to make the rounds, talking about wanting to oppose these folks. I know that the city council movement's obviously going to be continue to be involved, along with some other folks. So there's some people out there. There's some organizations out there that are recruiting candidates. I don't think that it's Tommy Smith, Andrew Roberto, Lauren Ryder, Seema Singh Perez, and there's another one. But anyway, so that's what's going on in this year. And then in 2022, Knox County will have a plethora of races. A lot of the judges are up. A few of the county commissioners are up. Maybe 6 of those are up, I think. And so those are up, and then a lot of the other positions in the courthouse are up. Former Sheriff Jimmy J.J. Jones picked up a treasurer for him. He's appointed Knoxville businessman Andy White as his treasurer for a run in 2022 for sheriff, taking on the current sheriff Tom Spangler, presumably. Spangler had raised some money in the last recording period, and I'll be reporting on that hopefully sometime this week when I get around to that. See who all raised money in the last quarter of 2020 and in preparation for 2022 race. So, it's really interesting. I mean, when you have the top of the ticket in Glenn Jacobs saying on the TV this morning that he's not sure he's going to run for re-election, it's real interesting. There are going to be some races. There are going to be some newcomers. Ed Schaus is term limited as our trustee, and at-large Commissioner Justin Biggs is set to run for that seat. That's obviously no secret in the courthouse or anywhere else for that matter. So Justin Biggs running for trustee, and that'll open up an at-large county commission seat. So there'll be some folks obviously that want to look at that seat as well. The big talk last week was a joint meeting by the county commission and the city council about a downtown baseball stadium. And that is property that Randy Boyd owns. It's the old Lay's Packing Company property, just on the other side of the viaduct, down near downtown, more closer to just across the interstate ramp from the old city in what we call the East Knoxville area. He's got some great plans. It's a beautiful stadium. It'll be a multi-use stadium. It'll have residential condos and homes attached to it. It'll have some retail. They're coming to the city and county wanting some money, about $60 million more so, and with a total investment of about $143 million of investment. The jury's still out whether obviously the city council and the county commission both have to vote on it, and it's going to be one of those situations where it's either, in my opinion, it's either going to be a razor thin approval or disapproval, or it's going to be overwhelming. So we'll see how that shakes out. Still a lot of public discussion yet to have. Some of the folks on the city administration has really tried to cut off Amelia Parker from asking a lot of questions, and that's not the right thing to do. Randy Boyd, being the businessman that he is, I believe is the kind of guy that is going to would stay there all night and answer the questions to get an appropriate vote, and doesn't want to do anything, I don't think, in the dark. But hey, want to encourage you to continue to check out brianhornback.com. We got news stories going up about every day. There's only a few days that we may not post something, but I've got several good businesses that promote their businesses on brianhornback.com, and let me run through those real quick for you. Matlock Tire Service, East Tennessee's #1 tire and auto repair facility. They have 5 locations in Lenoir City, Athens, Tennessee, Maryville, Tennessee, Farragut, Tennessee, and the new one in Hardin Valley. You can find them at MatlockTireService.com, or you can call the Farragut location at 865-966-0425. Just Homes Group. If you're looking to buy or sell your home, you want to call Just Home. You want to check out JustHomesGroup.com. It's affiliated with Realty Executives out of West Knoxville in the Farragut area. That's Julia Hurley, and her number, her direct line number is 865-237-7328. Julia Hurley at the Just Homes Group. If you're in the need for insurance, business insurance, any kind of insurance, Lou Moran III at InteragencyInsurance.com or Interagency Insurance in Knoxville, Tennessee, can write insurance in about 38 states. They've been in business since 1966. It was started by his father, Lou Moran, and they can help you with just about any kind of insurance. That's Interagencyinsurance.com. Just look for, do a Google search for Interagency Insurance, and their phone number in Knoxville is 865-637-4519. And fairly new business that's on BrianHornback.com is Pavlis Public Strategies. Nick Pavlis, former city councilman, served 4 terms on the city council. He was elected to 2 consecutive terms as an at-large city councilman, and then sat out 4 years, and then ran and was elected to 2 more consecutive terms in the 1st District over in South Knoxville and the University of Tennessee. But he has Pavlis Public Strategies. So if you need strategies for your business or for potential political campaign in 2021, 2022, then check out Nick Pavlis at Pavlis Public Strategies, 865-599-4606. Well, that was some rambling, but I do appreciate y'all tuning in to the Brian Hornback Podcast, episode 20. And so we will continue to document and report to you what's going on with the lost vaccines, the stadium, and obviously the upcoming elections. So y'all stay tuned. Hopefully we'll be back this week with episode 21. So y'all stay tuned and send me an email, brian@brianhornback.com. Let me know what you want me to talk about, because there's a lot of things I know in this community, and I can talk about just about anything. So let me know what you think about the podcast. We're now at 20 episodes in, so I'd love to have your feedback. If you're listening to me on any of the podcast streams, give me a like, give me a 5-star rating. That's all we take. And if you're on the YouTube, or if you aren't watching me on YouTube, but you have a YouTube, if you have a YouTube, then go hit subscribe, like my YouTube videos, and we'll keep posting them there as well. So again, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to y'all real soon.